Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to all the fans of 𝐈𝐵LAN, welcome to Every Friday with 𝐈𝐵LAN Tip. Magic begins to raise a standard. What is today's topic? If you ask me, today's topic is if you are new to industries or 1 or 2 years you're already working here, you are a little bit confused whether to what to do it. Sometimes you do some occasional courses. If you come across any design tool, do I need to learn or what is advantage I may get it? So all such confusions if you have it, right? So with my experience, so with my past, whatever I did, so I just want to share those experiences with you. Yeah. So when I was very new, first question used to come in my head is there a gap between academic studies to industries? If you ask me, so once I finished engineering and when I jumped into a company, yeah, I found there is a lot of gap. The theory, what you learned, and the practical, what you see it, both may not be the same way. But I found that there are courses like if you get, you may get little understanding. So practical understanding is very important. That is what I also feel. And second thing is industry terminologies. Many times what happens is if you go to panel or if you go to any industries, okay, it could be a different stream. You have hundreds of different industries you would be there. So in that, getting those terminologies plays a major role. Okay, as I go there, I also want to tell you that with respect to stream, what you have to learn, with respect to the kind of work what you do, how do you learn, those things also plays a major role on those lines. And this also comes into my mind, is design tool mandatory? If you ask me, it is not mandatory, but I feel that if you have this tool, it will definitely is a big plus for you to have it. So learning any design tool makes you to get to various places with help of this. Okay, so if you are in the verge of learning something, I would say add this design tool as a part of it. So whenever you go for a design tool, I suggest you that don't think only on the drafting tool. Okay, I want to do something on SLD or something like this and I do it. No, think in such a way that it should be useful for you on the engineering line also. So when you go today, you might be doing only 2D circuits. Suddenly you may come across, you may need to do it some 3D circuits or fluid circuits or process circuits or something else. So that tool should be able to step up you in those lines. Okay, that is also very important for you to know on those lines. And next, what is that important is, so that is what I was trying to give you in that example. Today, if I'm doing only 2D, tomorrow if somebody asks me the fluid, I should be able to read that. Okay, so at least if I'm not able to do it also, I should be able to relate it. Like if you are doing any schematic and if you get IOs from the fluid, so how do I get those IOs? So how do I read it if in case if it comes, or if it is related to process or if it related to other things, so how do I get those things? And fifth thing is very important for us is whenever we go for any tool, definitely it should be globally present. Okay, so if it is present in a global, then we know that okay, we have a good future over there. So learning those tools will make it more effective for us to get into that. So that is also another important thing which you also need to remember, and you also need to put your effort in learning those tools. Just to sake of learning, it should not be there. You have to put your effort so that you can be good in that particular tool over there. And second is whenever you, sixth is whenever you come across any occasional courses or in your study material or whenever you come across any design tool, don't take it lightly. Please get to the root of it. Try to blend that with the tool, with the theory, with the practical, all those things. Then only you will be finding it more effective there. Okay, so and you also need to understand the strength of the tool, and you also come out and understand that how effective I'll be using that, because for the sake of doing course it may not be helpful. So whenever you come across like especially 𝐈𝐵LAN, so I would say that please think on that and try to get serious on that and start learning on it. It can give a bigger result for you. Yeah, so this is with my experience I'm saying. Initially when I had only P8, when I was seeing okay it has only P8, but the kind of in P8 what all the things you can do it, right? And then I found the first plus was the documentation. I can create a various reports and everything. So when you deep dive in the first as a P8, you will look as a basic. As you start seeing, as you move to the step the ladder one after the other, you can see that lot many things can be done only in P8 itself. And P8 itself is a big ocean. And apart from that, you have lot other products also available. So I was not aware until I joined 𝐈𝐵LAN. So that is what I want you also to know, that when you go to any design tool, you try to understand what all the things are possible, what all the different products are available, so that how it can help you for you in the future. Okay, and yeah, documentation. So on the industry side, you also need to understand what kind of different documentations are required and how I will be able to create those things with help of the tool. Okay, some people will ask bill of material, some people will ask connection list, some people will ask different things. Okay, not only on the industry documentation for the panel, it can also be the documentation depending on the pyramid where you are working for them. So how easy for the maintenance, how easy for the PLC engineer, how easy for that testing or production. So like that on the various lines also is very important for us to know that how we can be able to do all these things. And second and the third thing also you may come across, yeah, this is about the industry, I understood. What about if I go for a design tool? Do you have any documentation, okay, where I can learn the tool faster, or if I want to prepare the project, how fast I will be able to do it with help of, yeah, that is also another important thing. Oh, is that Eplan planned anything to create such materials? Okay, so if you ask me, now only I'm telling you, but please remember this is something called Eplan engineering standard. It is a beautiful thing. You just log in, you can see lot of samples are readily available. So if you run through that, you can get to know lot many things can be done with help of Eplan. Okay, that's very important for you to have it. Last but not the least, so my ex-boss used to tell me that whenever you do any content on any particular topic, if you can relate that with the human body, remembering that becomes easy. Okay, so for the listeners or for whoever, so when you relate that with the human body, you yourself can remember, and also it makes the listener also to, okay, to understand better on that particular product. So I'm just putting a small effort, okay, to explain you with the help of an analogy for the Eplan products. It will be at the end of that presentation. Yeah, so without delay, we'll just jump. So first thing is that, as you know that, okay, we might be doing anything. Yeah, so once you complete any studies, irrespective of any streams or anything, so normally when you jump into any jobs, the first job will be looking for government jobs. In the government jobs, it doesn't mean that you should not know the technical. Yeah, definitely, if you want to crack the exams, you should know a little bit of technical. Yeah, so whether you go for a central government, state government, or any kind of jobs, yes, there also it will be important. And second is our software and IT jobs. Yes, software and IT jobs, they may not expect you to have that core knowledge, but sometimes if you have that core knowledge, or if you're building any configurator, if you are a developer, it becomes easy for you to understand what the other person is trying to tell you. The electrical guy will be, any core person is telling you what exactly they are expecting from you. Okay. Last but not the least, but this is very important for us, in the core engineering jobs or any core jobs, if you are doing it, whether it is a non-IT or technical. If you say technical, and I want to tell you that one is mandatory for us. Reading drawings is a mandatory for a technical guy. Okay, you do any kind of job in that core engineering technical, if you doesn't know how to read the drawings, then it's very difficult for you to run through it. So please remember, reading drawings is something is mandatory for us. So so for example, if you take it, yeah, I used to do engineering, and my mom or my parents used to tell me that, okay, so you are doing engineering, there is a problem with the fan or problem with the light or anything, why can't you repair yourself? I was uncomfortable, but I would say there are a lot of other people who has done diploma, ITI in all different fields. They may try to do it, but I found it difficult for that, because first thing is that reading of drawings is very important, right? But at home, we doesn't know where is that phase, where is that neutral, and all those things. Yeah. So as I said you that until unless you don't get that circuit in your head, it's very difficult for us to, how do we tackle all those things, right? This is a small circuit which I'm showing it. What do you call this one? Normally we call it this as a circuit diagram. You have a battery, you have a switch, and there is a lamp. If you put on a picture, what do you call this? We call it as a pictorial circuit diagram. This is where the terminology I'm trying to come out. So what are the different names the people will come? Some will call circuit diagram, some will call schematic diagram, some will call wiring diagram. Yeah, depending on the industry or depending on the people where you work, they call with a different names. So that you have to adhere. That is where you have to get used to those things. And now I'll come with a quick question. Which type of supply is flowing in the above circuit? So in 5 seconds, we'll take it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, definitely everyone will say DC. No doubt on that. Yeah. So like this, if I'm able to read the circuit, then it becomes easy for me to tackle on those things, right? This is very important for us. What is the second thing should be important for us? So whenever I used to do, especially in the previous company, when I used to do that MCC drawings and everything, I used to prepare a lot of feeders. Bottom the motor, they might be written conveyor, they will be written something like crusher or something like different names used to come, but I was not able to relate what exactly it is there. So if you ask me, whenever you go to any places, like if you see any escalator or conveyor or anything, what is that should come in your mind if you ask me? So definitely these questions should pop up in your head. So how does this equipment works? Yeah, that is very important for us to know. And second is, do we need to understand application of the conveyor? Yes, that is very important. We also should know what is the application of this. So for which stream they are doing it. Is it for cement, steel, or for what purpose they are using, for what sort of conveying they are doing it, right? And this is the more important question for electrical guy to remember, that can we protect and control the motor, and do we require that to do it? So for example, I have an equipment. If I put a three-phase supply and directly switch on, it will definitely on. But the problem here is the equipment is very expensive, right? And if something happens there, we should also protect the equipment. When we want to protect the equipment, means that's where the starters comes into the picture. So the one which you learned in the theory will be comes picture into this. Okay, dual starter, RDL starter, soft starter, VFD, all those things. Okay, now I need that power circuit and also, so those things. So when you say that, okay, I'm coming up with the components, then where do you place those components? So ultimately, when you have those components, you need a panel. So the control panel will come into the picture. So this is on the electrical side of it. So when you go a little further, then what about the protection side? I mean, sensors and actuators are coming. So that's where we call it as a field devices. So what all the field devices are associated with this? See, sometimes we may not go to the depth of it, but while doing the drawing, we come across all these things. We may not be able to relate it, but I would say that now you start thinking on those lines. Whenever you see equipment, if the equipment image is coming in you and you are able to relate those power, control circuit and field circuit, means you are understanding on those lines will become more effective for you to have it. Okay, that is very important. And one more question also should pop up in your head. Okay, do I need to control there itself, or can I control in the control room? So if I want to control there, what is that I require? If I want to control in the control room, okay, what is that I have to have it? So we will come with the terminology like PLC, DCS, all these things all comes. Okay, so this is one simple example to tell you that, okay, when there is equipment, when you're doing such drawings, when you come across those text, I don't say that you stop the drawing and do it, but I would say later you spend time to understand that, because ultimately if you don't understand the process and if you don't understand the equipment functions and everything, you will be not able to step up your ladder. So that is very important for you to understand on those lines. And to go ahead with, we'll have a quick questions. How many motors are required for a conveyor to rotate on both directions? So one such examples I was just saying. If you're a non-electrical guy and if you ask me that, so I know that, okay, here there is a motor and I want that to move the job from forward and also reverse. So if you're non-electrical guy, I would definitely answer one motor for one direction means I need two motors on the other direction. But if you are electrical, or if you are any other stream of, if your background is of that, definitely if you say that I need two motors means you're making a crime. So that is where I was saying that you should have that starters. This is where the theory and practical coming into the picture will help you to know those things. Okay, if it is reverse, how do I do that? Okay, I can have additional contactor. So I'm reversing that UVW in that line it. So those are the ones which will help you to understand, and that's where this theory and practical mix will help you to understand even better on those lines. Okay, by using two conductors we can achieve this one. Yes, perfectly right. And second most important thing which important for us to understand is, one, I said you already, the design. Okay, for design, reading the drawings is very important. And second, what I want to do, also you might be worked on any other different departments. Finally, if you want to come to design, the most important thing you have to understand is you also should have a feel of the components. You should know how the breaker looks, how the cable looks, how the terminal looks, okay, how it will be placed, where is the transformer, how it looks, okay. So before designing any panel or anything, if you don't have a feel of the components, it's very difficult for you to get a design to be done. So that getting those pictures is very important for you to have it. Yeah. And another third important thing which you also to remember is, whenever you go with a breaker, okay, any breaker or anything such things, not only placing the breaker and doing it, you also need to go one step further and understand. Sometimes you might be, you have a fuse, you have a breaker, you have a contactor, you have a terminal, cable, motor, all these things, right? So sometimes to understand better, some people will come back and tell you that, okay, you have a breaker, so why can't you go with A curve or B curve, C curve? What is this ABC? So when we don't know, so we should also know that, okay, we need to go to the data sheets. So that is another important thing which is very important for us to understand. So what is that? We also sometimes need to go for a data sheet. We need to understand, okay, what is this component? What all these things are called? Like for example, if you see, it says C16, what is this C and what is this 16, right? And when it comes to connections, see, each one they have explained, okay, whether you want to go with the cable, whether you want to go with the bus bar, what is that, C16. So this tells about the tripping characteristics. So why we are going with C curve? Why can't we go with A and B? Okay, those questions also should pop up. So whenever you get a time, getting here, it's very important. And whether it sits on the rail or whether it sits directly on the mounting plate, how it will be done, all those installations, everything is important. And even if you go to the circuit, what type of circuit, whether it is, okay, is it with single pole with neutral? So all these things makes you to understand even better. Okay, I am more interested in that curves, so I want to explain you. So when I come across the curves, so let me just jump. Yeah, we have B, C, D and all those things. So how it will make a difference there? So you can see that. So when I say A curve, what is that? It tells you that A curve. It says the A curve is for measuring the transformer part. So it also tells you what is the inrush current required. Okay, I think in the previous one, if you see it, it says 3 to 5. For C, 5 to 10. This is 10 to 20 inrush currents. So similarly, typically the B1 when you use, they say that it is for lighting circuits. So if I need a for motor, which is the one which I have to go for? Yeah, they say that you have to go for C. So this is ideally for, you will have a high starting current. So if you go with a B, every time it will trip. So that should not happen, then we have to go with the C. So such things, sometimes what happens is because of the pressure the wind will be doing, will not able to focus on those. But I would say slowly you also need to learn how to go into the data sheets, get more understanding on all those lines. That becomes your design more effective for you to learn on those lines. And as I said, that one is the industry terminology is also there, and this is a getting into the components data sheet is also very, very important for you to have it on those lines. Now, what I do it is I'll just break with respect to engineering. So now I see that, okay, some people will do this kind of drawings, some will do the these things. So in general, how do you break that engineering part? So if you ask me, I normally break it into 3 parts. One, we call it as a basic engineering. Means if there is any plant setup, or if this is steel or cement or any plant, normally you will observe that electrical guy will be preparing an SLD, and instrumentation guy will be preparing and painted drawings. So that is a starting stage of that any plant or anything they might be doing you. So how do I prepare those kind of drawings? Means we that call it as a basic engineering. Means panel is not in front of me right now. So I'm creating the whole complete plant structure of it. So that if you are doing it, that we normally call it as a basic engineering. And then once we got to know, okay, this is MCC panel, this is a PLC panel, this is a VFD panel or anything, that's where the detail engineering comes. When I say detail engineering, that's where your incomer, distribution, feeder power, feeder control, PLC, and finally your panel will be in front of you, and that related documentation and everything, what you do, it is called detail engineering for you. Okay, in that detail engineering, what sort of tool I'm supposed to use it, what sort of documentation I have to create it, all those things I should get familiar with that. So that is what I'm saying. You have to get familiar with that. That becomes more easy for you to have it. Last but not the least, I will say the field and cable engineering. Means in our drawing, if you observe it, till this point terminal, it will be inside the panel. But when you see the motor somewhere in the field, but you also have a cable. This is another big thing. Cable sizing is also another important thing which the people should know that, right? And how the cable will be passing through the tranches or the ducts and how it all be done. So that is also another part of engineering. So that normally we call it as a field or a cable engineering. So whatever you are there, you are working on any of these industry, or depending on the company, what kind of engineering you are doing it, definitely you need to understand the terminologies, plus also you should know that how to do it in the tool, how effectively you to use, so that you can get a better output from the help of the tool. This is very important for us to get on those lines. And so with this, what I felt is, okay, now we will just touch on the industry pyramid, where exactly when we do it, what all the things comes under these things. Okay, so this is a very important thing for us to understand in the ecosystem. So there are various companies. Okay, depending on the ecosystem, we will be understanding. Even the owner operator on the top also, you will be having it. So I'll be not touching everything, but definitely remember that when you come across the electrical, digital, automation and anything, whenever you come across this automation panel, panel design, system integration, right? And especially some people are like equipment manufacturers. Depending on that stream, they also prepare. So as you go top, it becomes more narrow there. Okay, so though, as you go on the top, the kind of knowledge required, the kind of expectation will be high. So that is very important for you to know that when you go to the particular stream, there they expect you to know the knowledge of that stream. Means when you say cement, then they may expect you that, okay, you should know anything about the crusher of that particular equipment. You should know much deeper knowledge on those lines. So that's where it plays a major role. For example, if you are there somewhere here, the panel provider, panel can provide, he may provide for cement, he may provide for steel, he may provide for all different streams there. Okay, so as you go up the ladder, up the pyramid, remember that the more specifications, the more knowledge is required for us to. How do we learn? It is always there in our hand. Means whenever we get any MCC, SLD or anything, at the bottom we can see there is a lot of functions, equipments are all written. It is up to us how we read and how we want to go step one by one. Okay, that is very important. As electrical engineer, when they say MCC, PCC, you should know what is MCC. In MCC, what are the different things or comes? What is PCC? What are the different things is comes? So thus terminology is also very important for you to know it. And in automation panel, when you come across PLC, okay, what is this PLC? Okay, in that also you need to understand what is DCS and what is the field instruments. How do you prepare the PLCs? Okay, all these things are very important for us to learn. And when in the panel building, if you go a little bit deeper on that, okay, what is the crusher, conveyors, how they get it, what all that you will be having it. So as we go deeper and deeper, the understanding is very important for us to understand. And one more thing you have to understand is when you come across a 3D, okay, in the 3D, how it looks, okay, panel, how it looks, what is there in the mounting plate, what is there in the door, okay, how the routing is done, what all the wire is passing through, how. So all these things are important depending on the kind of engineering you are doing it. For detail engineer, panel inside engineering is very important. Whereas for that for the field engineer, they are more interested from panel to the field. So it depends on the kind of engineering you're doing it. The more detail you may have to get it into the eplan. And one more thing also you have to remember that whenever you start any drawing, the people will say that no, I need as per the EC compliant one. So whatever you do it, I should see all those things. So we also need to see that in such a tool where we should get all this documentation, everything done in built-in. I don't have to spend, okay, for IEC, what is how the coil looks, okay, for NFPA, how the coil looks. So all those things are not required. So symbol, okay, all those templates, numbering, all those things should be available in the tool so that it makes our life easy. Last but not the least, on the maintenance front, see, normally what happens is once the equipment is done and everything is done, so the maintenance engineer will be maintaining it. Whenever they come across any problem, for them the first important thing is how fast they can track it in the drawings. Today what happens is they have hard copies. To searching in the hard copies, it takes time, and it also depends on them. So that's why, so if you have it through the software and if they can track it where exactly the one, getting a solution is not a big thing for them. So the solution can be easily done. Or is it possible that if I have a screen, in the screen itself, whenever there is a problem comes, if I click on the screen, automatically can it open the drawing where exactly it is pointing to that. And when you have a part database, can you give me the manuals? Can you give me all the information is possible? Or it can also tell me that what all the alternate manufacturers, alternate components are available. So such informations are all available. Then this maintenance and everything becomes very, very, very easy for them to handle on those lines. So that is why I took example of cement, but it can be any industries. It works on those lines. Okay, they expect accurate engineering, digital consultancy, and integrated automation. So this is where very important. That's what I am saying. If you have a tool, there is a bigger advantage for you to learn better and get into different these things. So okay, so that is very important. Whenever you do drawings and everything, you also should remember that there are many other things also is possible for you to learn in those lines. Okay, that's very, very important. So that's why I said the terminologies are very important. One is the which industry. For example, if you go to cement terminology you need to understand. Second is if you're working for a panel, then you have to understand what is that panel related industries. Like MCC, when they say motor control center, okay, what do you call this one? In this you have compartment, non-compartment, drawout, okay, there is a top one they call trim panel, okay, like they will say VCA, bus bar chamber, and all those things. Getting familiar with that, what is the process, how they prepare the drawings, what kind of testing they do it, how they do it, all those things if you start understanding, then blending those things becomes very easy for you to have it. So whether it is a power control center or whether you go with the capacitor ones, or if you have distribution panel or control desk or PLC panel, in the PLC you might have Siemens, Rockwell and different players. If you go for a VFD, then we have lot different drives, ABB, Siemens, Danfoss, lot other drives, and how to prepare those panels, Escava. So lot many things are coming in this. So as you get those things familiar, then it becomes easy for you to understand better. So this is very important for you to get an idea on those lines. Okay, that's the reason I'm saying it. So if you want to get into these places, as I said you that whenever you come across any tool or whenever you come across any courses or anything, put a lot of effort to how it should be created and try to understand the documentation part and how to prepare those drawings and what is the strength of those things, and all those things are very important. So if you ask me what is the employment equation, it is simple. KSA. What is that K? K is your knowledge. So how do you learn? It all depends on you. S is a skill. So until unless you don't practice and don't repeat the same thing, and if you don't have it, then it becomes very challenging for you. And last is So that knowledge and skill only can be learned depending on your attitude. So how do you want to learn it? How much effort do you want to put it? So how do you want to get those things all done? Is what it's all in your hand. So that is very important. What if you have all these things? Definitely not only the employment, wherever in the place you will be you will have the great success, and you will be stepping up the ladder, and you will be moving into the next level. That is very important. Whether you learn from the school, distance, college, institutions with the different courses and all those things, yeah, it will definitely make a bigger impact. When you say skill, yes, practice and experience only, it will take you there. So attitude is fully with you. So whenever you come across any such things, one is you have to understand what is the industries, other one is a stream, and understanding using the tool effectively to get the result is what makes you a different person altogether. So that is very important for you to know that. So that's why I'm stressing you. So whenever you come across any such things, yeah, if this design, if I can turn it into this, that's where it is possible with help of 𝐈𝐵LAN education. So if you come across any 𝐈𝐵LAN courses or anything, don't hesitate, don't think, okay, just join and start learning it. Okay, and as I go further, also explain you, 𝐈𝐵LAN is not just P8. We have lot many things are available in 𝐈𝐵LAN electric P8. So by now, I think you might have understood lot many things can be also be done. As I said you that the tool is the one which can bridge you that one of the industries and how to do it and how effective you can be with help of that. Okay, so that is very important for us to have it. And the plus point with that is it is not a drafting tool, it is an engineering tool. So that's where it becomes totally a different one. And nowadays you can see the many things are happening in 𝐈𝐵LAN. Okay, so without delay, we'll just jump. So in 𝐈𝐵LAN platform, we have many things are available. As I said, if you break that engineering like basic, detail, or cable engineering, depending on that, you can use a type of product, whatever you want. So as I go further, I'll explain you. But in short, I want to tell you that many things are also available. So we have like collaboration apps, we have a cloud, we have integration also can be done with ERP, PDM, PLM, many things are there. So 𝐈𝐵LAN is like from electrical instrumentation towards mechatronics, the focus is all on those lines we will be having it. Okay, so for you to make you to understand easy what I am doing it is, as I said, okay, so I just created one small example so that you can understand how it is. Like for example, you see this is a multi-line, this is a single line, this is the one which I'm showing you in the P&ID. So this is on the fluid one, 2D layout, 3D, and all those things. You can create a various pages with a various different kinds of drawings is possible with help of 𝐈𝐵LAN. If you take a small example of a motor, so in single line, how do I show? From there I can drag and drop and make it as a multi-line, and then I can show it in a P&ID. So my database is a common database, but I can just show it the way I want it in a different places. So that makes that unique. And if I want to change it in one shot, in the Google Navigator, modify that, automatically changes in all 3 places. So that is possible. Similarly, if I want to see another example of a contactor, so how do I show it in a multi-line, single line, 2D layout, and 3D layout? See, all these things are possible with help of a 𝐈𝐵LAN. And the biggest plus with 𝐈𝐵LAN is the documentation. Now you see that all these things can be done with one-time effort we put properly there. Okay, all these things, bill of material, IO list, wire list, tag list, all those things can be done. And if you are using a 3D, here you can also get a drilling detail, NC data is also readily possible. Wire cutting ones, if you have busbar informations, all these things are possible with help of a 𝐈𝐵LAN Pro panel. So this is another biggest added advantage with help of a 𝐈𝐵LAN. Okay, so like this, all these things can be possible with help of a 𝐈𝐵LAN. And another important thing I want to tell you, if you go to any of our product, please remember these 3 things are very important. What is that? Basic project, macro project, and parts management. These all are these 3 basic pillars of 𝐈𝐵LAN. So first time, if you are new to 𝐈𝐵LAN, so first time what you learn the tool, how to make it. So that we call it as a training. Second, we say that just handhold for one project, implementation. So if you are done with that, then what happens is with help of this project, you can set your settings and all those things, basic project will be done. Means that becomes your 50-60% of your basic project. All your with one click of that, how to get all the documentation done, ferrule numbering, layer management, okay, your property arrangement. So everything can be done with help of this basic project. And second, first time when you build any macro, making a block and controlling through value sets, all those things can be done. First time if you take 4 hours, second time you should not take 4 hours. It will be less than 2 minutes. Just drag, drop, automatically the circuits will be ready. So how to make those blocks and start utilizing that. Okay, and you have to learn how to use the value sets and all those things. And third is nothing but your parts management. So where you can put with price, without price, with with participation, okay, all those things are possible, with weight, without weight, all those things are possible with help of a parts management. Lot many things can also be added. Tomorrow if somebody asks you the manual, that is also possible. All those things can be done with help of a parts management. These are the three basic pillars. You take any product, if you set these things, so first project might take time, but second project from second onwards, it becomes more easier for you to do it in a faster pace. So that is very important for you to remember. So for you to have a quick understanding, so for example, when you see this motor, so in your head, how it should flow. So if you ask me, my power circuit, okay, something like this, it should be control, okay, whether I'm doing a control, manual control or auto manual or PLC, depending on that, the control circuit should come in my mind. So that we call it as a power, this is called as a control, and this kind of circuits can be built with help of our engineering tool called 𝐈𝐵lan electric PA. And if I want to do the 3D, yes, it is possible with what? 𝐈𝐵lan Pro panel. So I can place the duct, rail, everything is inbuilt, and I can place the components. You can put all the door components. That is called 𝐈𝐵lan Pro panel. If you see it, this particular one, that we normally call it as a fluid. Yes, that is possible with help of a 𝐈𝐵lan fluid. So what is exactly this is doing? It is pushing the job in the center so that it can be grinded on the both the places. So if you want to see on the 3D, yes, here the wire, here the tubes. So this is where you can have it, pipe or a tube, all those things can be routed with help of 𝐈𝐵lan Pro panel. And we are not shown that from motor, from panel to motor, if you want to have it, we also have something called harness Pro-D. So that is also possible to do it with help of a 𝐈𝐵lan. So this is very important for you. So whenever you learn that, I would say that always you start with this one, electric PA. So as you start with electric PA, slowly see that, okay, panel inside, okay, let me go to the Pro panel. If I want to see the field, then, okay, let me see that how the harness works. So all with these combinations becomes more effective for you to work on 𝐈𝐵lan. So with this, what I want to do is I want to give a quick example. As I said on the earlier that with analogy, I want to explain you. Okay, so I want to relate that with the human body so that you can understand much easier. So we have various products. I have not covered all the products, but major part of the products are covered with help of this one. So if you ask me the first product like 𝐈𝐵lan electric PA, I can say it is a brain. So brain sends the signal, right? I hope you agree that. So a brain is the one which will control the entire body of it. So with that, if you see it, as I said in the electric PA is a part which you can do it all single line, multi-line, and you can do a lot many things can be possible with help of a 𝐈𝐵lan electric PA. So similarly, you see plan, controls, coordinates all the electrical circuits and what connects what, how signals are routed, how protection works. All these things are possible with help of a 𝐈𝐵lan electric PA. And similar to that, if you compare with the human body, that complete control signals is happening through brain. So this is very important. If the brain doesn't think it through, nothing else can function correctly. Definitely you will agree this part. Okay. So once now circuit is done, everything is done. So now what is the next second thing we'll be having it? Second is our Pro panel. So you say that you have done everything, but I need to see the panel in front of me. So that's where we call it as a skeleton and muscles. Means skeleton and muscles when you put that the motion, that part, right? So that is very important. So that is a 3D physical structure of it. So in the Pro panel, as I said, you can place a duct, rail, okay, routing and everything can be done. So now we'll see what is the comparison we'll be having it. Skeleton is nothing but panel, rails, enclosures, ducts and everything. So that we normally call it as a skeleton. So you can place the panel, you can put the rails, ducts and everything, all those drilling informations and everything you can get it. What about muscles? Muscles is like placing the components. So whatever part numbers you are given in electrical schematic through navigators, we can drag and drop the components. So that drag and drop of components will happen through placing the components, wiring path and also thermal. So that is where rhythm also is possible with help of a 𝐈𝐵lan there. So this is where it shows that body will be physically stand and move. So when PA thinks, Pro panel gives a system a body. So that's the beauty of 𝐈𝐵lan Pro panel. So if you think a brain, electric PA. If you think a skeleton and muscles, it's Pro panel. So what about the third one? Third one is our fluid circulatory system. So this is another beautiful one. Fluid is not like that. You can do hydraulics, pneumatics, okay, lubrication, cooling, all kind of drawings can be possible. So when you say pneumatic, it's air, right? So similarly, you just try to understand that what that they are trying to give you. Blood vessels is like means the connection between the valves or all those things. They say that pipes, lines, and all those things can be done. Beautiful. The heart, what it does, it pumps and valves. So my valves when I have it and when I have it from that FRL filter to that, going to that and after that going to the cylinder and all those things, those pumps and valves they call it as a heart, and pipes and lines they call it as blood vessels, right? And blood flow is nothing but your movement of that, whether it is a air, whether it is a what kind of movement you want to have it, fluid, air movement, that they call it as a blood flow. See how good example, and it is properly relating with our 𝐈𝐵lan fluid. Okay, so and it ensures that all fluid flows properly through the system. So without fluid power, Many machines have no motion, just like a human body. So this is very important for us to understand on those lines. So this we normally call it as a 𝐸𝐴N fluid. So what about our fourth one? Fourth one is our nervous system. So now we are getting into the harness body. So remember, our brain is nothing but electric PA to pro panel, electric PA to fluid. Right now, electric PA to harness body. So this is coming up. In the harness body, we can also pitch in the pro panel. The skeleton muscle so can be part of it. What exactly it does in the nervous system. So if you see it, so remember that in the harness, what exactly happens is, so we can bring the machine, whatever we in the 3D of your native files, and after that we can place the connectors in different whatever connectors you used in your PA, and once you place both connectors, automatically cable wire connection will happen, and all that you have to do it is just give the path. So once you show those paths, means I want to just show you quickly the drawing so that you can relate what I am trying to say on those lines. See, this is the one which I was trying to talk about. So when you bring in that machine and everything, so then what happens is, if you go there here, so right click, I want to show hide all. So this is where you see that, see, motor, how the path it has to come, where the cable is connecting it. This is what it is showing you. So this is on the 3D part of it. Similarly, the one which I explained you on electric PA, you see that these are the single lines, the one you see. All these single lines, we can be able to prepare it. And after that, if you want to go to the schematics, yes, this is a schematic. With the help of a bundle, they are trying to explain you. And after that, if you go a little further, this is a kind of report. You can also see it, especially for the maintenance. If I have a particular block which is shown, which is not shown, he need not go to circuit. From here only, you can read it, what all those things. These are different kinds of reports can also be prepared. And 2D, I mean, in the model view, how it looks, right? So the same thing if you want to do 3D, the pro panel part, see? All these things are possible with help of a 𝐸𝐴N there. So that is where you saw those things are coming in this fashion there. Okay, so that is what you will be having it. So now you saw that there was a wire harness is coming. Similarly, cable routing can be done, and how the connectors will be there, and physical path. Physical path is nothing but bundles. So those things are all done. The way the nerves are connecting to the brain and body part. Similarly, the harness body is connecting between the connectors and how it is showing the connections. So what is that it's trying to say? It is a sensory and a communication network of the machine. So harness body is our nerve system. Okay. And what about the fifth one? The most important one is our data portal. So how do you build the parts? Parts is our most important. Similarly, the DNA is something which is very important for us, right? So every human body needs that genetic catalog. Similarly, if you ask me data portal, they need a machine information or component master data is very important. So when you say component master data, what all the things will come? You will get symbols, you will get macros, you will get 3D models, you will get drilling pattern, you will get all those things will be available with help of a 𝐸𝐴N. So lot many things comes, function template, all those things will be available with help of that. And even in the macros, we have 2D macros, 3D macros, and all those things will be readily. And this is a library which is a reusable building blocks. So this is very important for us to understand. Without DNA, the body cannot be formed. So for us, the most important is DNA, this data portal. Right? So many components we can get it from the data portal. If it is not possible also, we can create by ourselves. So this we call it as a DNA. This is a beautiful one. So what about that 𝐸𝐴N pre-planning? This is the apt word they are used. The blueprint of the body means before actually if you want to build anything, this is a high level blueprint is possible. With 𝐸𝐴N pre-planning, as I said that you can do lot many things in 𝐸𝐴N. So let me just quickly open for you to show that one good sample for you to get how that pre-planning will be available. Okay, so in the pre-planning, what happens is you can build your P&ID drawings, you can build lot different kinds of circuits can be done. It's like a high level blueprint only. They rightly said on those lines. So as I go there, so let me just scroll down. If I go to this place, if I double click, this is one paint shop one. See how they created these things. And this has a relation. You have a lot of loops are coming up, field devices are shown, what sort of substances can be used, and all those things are possible with help of a 𝐸𝐴N pre-planning. That is what they normally call it as a high level blueprint. Okay, so it can define the functions, process areas, planning structure, detailed design, everything can be done. So in short, it's like mapping organs and systems before the actual growth is happening. Means before actually you're getting a panel, everything is ready. So before that, they are doing in the early stage of it. So that's why they call it as a mapping organs and systems of before the actual growth is happening. This is called 𝐸𝐴N pre-planning. Hope you agree with that. And one more important thing now you have to understand all this connection, how it is happening with help of a 𝐸𝐴N platform. So what do you call the 𝐸𝐴N platform as a body's operating system. You will definitely agree, because you can see that there is a stream, different stream is coming from electrical, fluid to harness, 3D, and all those things are doing. And we have a common database is coming up across, and all the standardizations and everything is taken care. So all work together because of this platform. So what do you call platform? Platform is a body operating system. So now we'll see that how much you understood quickly. So a quick recap will do it. So first, what about the P8? P8 is a brain, right? All your circuits, everything you build it, and intelligence and logics are all there. So what about the second? Second is our pro panel. It's a skeleton and muscle, and you will have a panel in front of you, right? That is a physical structure or a mechanics what you are going to prepare. So that is the one. And third is a fluid, circulatory system. So how the flow happens, you're putting all those valves and everything, right? That is the circulatory system part. Then harness body, the nerve system, where you are routing, field routing, you are doing it. So that is called as harness body. And then data body is nothing but your DNA, how we are getting all those component building blocks and everything, right? And pre-planning is our genetic blueprint, means early conceptual planning can be done with help of that. And platform is nothing but our body operating system, where it connects, synchronizes, all going with the different streams. Everything is connected through this help of this particular platform called body operating system. Apart from that, we have lot many things also available. We have eBuild, we have a lot of ERP, PDM, PLM, so lot many things is also available. But I just showed you these are the basic things required for you. Once you get into these things, lot other things slowly will be coming up. So as I said you, whenever you think of a brain, remember that electric P8 should come in your head. Okay, so if you ask me, the kind of videos what I prepared, 80 to 90% are all still in the brain. I need to create lot many videos on the different streams also. I just touched the skeleton and muscle, but most of my videos are all still in the brain. Okay, so in short, if you see the picture, yeah, you will be seeing like this. So this electric P8 is a brain, pro panel is a skeleton, data portal is a DNA, circulatory system is a fluid, harness is nerve system, pre-planning and all those things, integration between the products and all those things are happening in this fashion. So if you ask me, especially on the analogy, so many times the people will say that how the AI helps and all those things. Definitely I could say that for this analogy, I took a help of AI so that I was able to relate and everything. I'll not say 100%, but meaningful. The way it was giving those data, I felt that, okay, more or less, for me, the way I wanted, it was giving you. And it was apt, it was saying. Like, electric pit is a brain and a skeleton with a pro panel. So, all those things was really good. So, hope you are able to relate these things, and hope you also got a... So, sometimes we have to use AI so that it can be a little faster. Right? So, this is where I just used that AI to just create these things. And especially for the analogy, so that it will make for you easy to understand on those lines. Yeah. So before I could say goodbye, and again I want to repeat it, whenever you come across any 𝐸plan, please take it seriously, and also it can take you to the next level. So please remember, lot many things are happening on 𝐸plan, and if you are interested in those lines, we also have a department. So if you have any such things, first you shoot a mail to info@𝐸plan.in. So we have a separate department also. They are also promoting many things on the education. If you come across any courses, or if you want to learn on any courses, shoot a mail and ask them that can I join those places or whatever. So please think. So whenever you get any opportunity to learning on 𝐸plan, don't hesitate. Just go ahead. You can do lot better things with help of 𝐸plan, and lot better output can be expected out of 𝐸plan. So with this, what I want to say that, okay, before I say goodbye, I want to say that please like to load more contents, please comment to get quality output, please share to reach maximum users. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is 𝐕𝑖𝑠₂ Reddy. Jai Hind. Have a nice day.